What's up, y'all? It's your girl V with Reality Recap, and I'm back. I hope you guys enjoyed your holiday with your friends, your family, your loved ones, whoever you spent the holidays with, or if you even spent it by yourself. Good for you for getting your me time in. But we are back recapping all shows. I'm catching up on shows from last week. We are streaming live right now across Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube on last night's episode of Life After Lockup. Come on in. Welcome new followers. I will say that. Thank you. We made 26,000K on Facebook this week. We reached 13K on Instagram yesterday. So thank you. Welcome new followers. If you're new here to the lives, if you can't watch the live in its entirety, no worries. Click the links in my bio on Facebook or Instagram. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can watch all my recaps at your leisure. And as always, the chat is live, y'all. So if y'all have thoughts on last night's episode as we go through each couple, please let me know your thoughts on the couples, on the episode. I will read them. If you have questions, comments, I will read them as we go along. So you are more than welcome to share your thoughts as I give you my unsolicited thoughts. Now, before we get started, really quickly, I am catching up on all the shows from this last week. I just uploaded a recap of last week's episode, or I would just say this past episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami. That is live now on YouTube. So go check that out. After this, I'll be doing some more recordings and posting them. I owe you guys Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Salt Lake City, all the things. So I'm catching up on my recaps and loading them on YouTube. So make sure you check those out. And then we'll be back into our live schedule this week, starting with today with Life After Lockup. Tomorrow, I will give you a live show on Bell Collective and Lovers Marriage Huntsville. And then it goes on next week. Y'all already know Real Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine and all the things will be back to my live schedule. So set your alerts. And again, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now let's get into it. What couple are we starting with today? I'm going to say we should start with Troy and Zeruiah because y'all have so many thoughts and comments even since last week on Troy and Zeruiah and their toxic ass marriage. So I guess we can start there. Troy. We learned on last night's episode that Troy never went to pick up his daughter or mother from the train station. He never made it. They ended up going back. And I just was thinking, when his baby mother get a hold of this information, she is not going to let it go. So it was sad that he didn't go pick them up, that Zeruiah kicked him out the car. If you guys don't know, she was mad over him, which she thought he was texting, when all the while he was just putting up a post about their anniversary and a long, endearing message to her. And she's yelling and screaming at him that he don't care about the anniversary, that he's texting on his phone. He's texting and driving. And she kicked him out the car and all of that, really for nothing, which ultimately led to him not being able to pick his daughter and mom up from the train station. So yeah, we start off this episode. He never got to pick them up. And Z gives him a half-ass apology in the parking lot. Pretty much just saying that she's sorry, that she shouldn't have blew up like that. And still then saying, she is accusing him of texting women and that she still doesn't know who he was texting, when again, he wasn't even texting anybody. He was just trying to put up a Facebook post about her and being married to her. I don't care what any of y'all say. There is some type of codependency going on between Troy and I call it Z because nobody's going to keep saying Zeruiah over and over again. So we're just going to call her Z. But there is some type of codependency going on there. I just feel like it's more than just smoking trees happening with them. I'm not going to accuse them of anything else, but there's something else there. I don't know. There's some scenes where they're talking extremely slow. And, even when they went to the baby, to meet up with the baby mother, which we'll talk about, Zeruiah with the glasses on, and all of a sudden now she's this calm, cool, collected person, and she's going to be the voice of reason when she was just the reason that he's in this predicament to begin with. There's something going on with them. Hi, thank you for checking in, Miss Gigi. Let's read her comment on YouTube. It says, Happy Saturday. Glad I caught you. Troy and Z are a mess. He needs to get his balls back from Z. He is showing up weaker and weaker each week. Oop. Yeah, I told you. I do think something's going on there, codependency wise. I will say this past week that Troy posted that he is off his ankle monitor. Congratulations to him. He also has started an OnlyFans, y'all. So if y'all want to go to subscribe to that, I choose not to. But he has started an OnlyFans. I'm only assuming that Z is on there with him because she's been on the internet with her boy shorts twerking in front of him and stuff. So I'm assuming they doing all types of things on this OnlyFans, but they did start that. Also, when he got his ankle monitor off, he was saying he was basically sending out some threats to us bloggers and saying how he's about to expose us. And I ain't gonna say us because ain't nothing to expose. I can tell my own truths, but he's saying that watch out. We should all be very afraid that he's off his ankle monitor and that he got some exposing to do. So I'm waiting for it. But yeah, that's what's going on them in recent social media news. So he's off ankle monitoring, he's off house arrest, and he started an OnlyFans. But back to the episode. Yeah, Z apologizes. There's no making up for that. And in my opinion, she got off way easy by him for someone that just made me miss my daughter who came up here on the train. Um, she would have had to wear that for a while, real talk, just saying. But he seemed to have gotten over it. They hug and it's I love you, and they move on with Community Day, giving out hamburgers and hot dogs, honey. And I'm assuming that the baby mother was living. I know I would have been. And she was on live last night, guys. Yana went live last night with Karen. I didn't catch the whole thing. It was very, very long. But she went live. She was exposing them. One of my followers, one of my good Judies on Facebook, she actually saw the live. She asked a question on the live because there's been some rumbling in the streets, if you didn't know, that allegedly Z had I ain't trying to get it kicked off, but you know what that means. That Z had, stabbed Troy. And she asked on the live if that was true. And Yana confirmed it. So allegedly, it's more to it than just arguing and fighting all the time. It seems like there may be some physical stuff happening between Z and Troy. Again, this is alleged. And this is what Yana confirmed on the live last night. Karen got upset saying, like, you can't be saying stuff like that on here. And she ended up leaving Karen's house, but she did get on Karen's live last night, and Karen invited her on to speak her truth about the situation. So I'm hoping to get an interview with Yana. She put her TikTok up there last night, so I'm trying to reach out to her and see if I can interview Yana. I'd rather interview her than Troy and Z. They seem like very combative people when they're on live. They did a long live last night, and it's always blaming the production, and they're portraying her in the storyline, and they're always very defensive and cursing us out and saying how we hate us and he love her and all those good things. But I really want to try to get an interview with Yana, so I'll definitely be working on that. And then also I'm trying to give you guys a little reunion. Since we don't get a reunion with Life After Lockup, I reached out to some of the couples. I reached out to Melissa and Louie. I reached out to Kim and Joey. I reached out to Brittany and Key Rock and Teeny and Rob, trying to see if we could get a few other couples together next Saturday or sometime next week after, because y'all know next week is the season finale of Life After Lockup. Then we move into an all new, explosive, really, really, really good season of Love During Lockup. So we'll meet all new couples, all new toxic drama. So I will continue to recap and give you highlights as always. But I'm trying to work out something for you guys where we can get a couple of these couples together here on live. So look out for that. It's just trying to work out the time with them just seems to be the struggle. Either one's not available this time, yada yada yada. So I'm trying to figure out a time that works for all of them. So we'll see if we can't get it next weekend, maybe mid next week, because some of them work on the weekend, things like that. So I'm trying to work it out. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, they did end up getting the 50 kids from the community day for them to start applying for more grants. Now I told y'all how I feel about this. Something's not right with this non-for-profit and Project Heal. Say what you want. I'm hoping it's something to do good for the community, but I told you guys, Z has her own arrest record. She got her own things going on that she's had in the past. I don't know where she came from as far as she knows how to run a non for profit, but I feel like they are using this. And again, this is just my thoughts, not facts, but my thoughts are that they are using this non for profit for their own financial gain. Like you can't tell me no otherwise. And if I saw a few people on my pages kind of saying the same thing. Hello, thank you for checking in on Instagram. I don't know how to say that name though. MD Shuvo Biswas 12. I don't know. But thank you for checking in. But yeah, I truly think that there's some codependency going on and there's something going on with this non-for-profit that they're using to fund their lifestyle. But they did get their 50 kids so they can steal more money. Just my thoughts, allegedly. Let me say that. Troy is going to meet up with his baby mother, and Z is deciding to go with him wearing this weird ass hat. But she is saying that she's gonna go with him. She's not gonna let him deal with this alone. That she wants this to go well. She thinks that Troy should have a peaceful relationship with his daughter and that co-parenting should go smoothly. Well, sis, it was going to get on the right track. You're the one messing it up. So her coming along now as the voice of reason was just weird to me because this all started because of you. Now, I don't get the whole trying to paint Yana as the bitter baby mother or that she wants Troy. It's none of that. To me, it makes perfect sense. Even when we first met Yana, when she came on and saying like, I'm not going to let you take my child to, even though it's the same state, I think they're in Buffalo. Yana's in Buffalo, they're in Syracuse. It's a ways away. Like, I don't know this woman. You married her while you were in prison. You don't even know her yourself. So she did you a solid by letting her daughter come to your community day and letting your mom bring her, and you left her at the train station. So of course she's going to be upset. She's going to be on defense. And I don't know why Z felt like she needed to tag along and be some voice of reason when all of this is because of her. Real talk. So, they only one real story said facts. Like, thank you. Thank you. And thank you for checking on Instagram. But they go to the park. Troy seems to be under the impression that Yana's going to bring his daughter. And he's, in the car saying like, oh, hopefully I get to see my daughter, try to smooth things over with Yana and we can move forward. But he keeps calling her aggravating, calling Yana like, oh, my aggravating ass baby mother. No, your wife is the aggravating one. She's the instigating ass one. She's the toxic ass one. So I don't get why he has all this energy for his baby mother and none for Z that just had your daughter sitting at the train station for almost 2 hours and had to go back home. All she got to do is give you one little apology and you move on with her. But yet you calling the baby mother all these names. I don't get it. But they get there. Yana shows up without baby Troy. So he's already annoyed. Again, but why would she bring her daughter there? If she's already hearing that y'all had a disagreement to the point where she kicked you out the car and left her child at the train station, why would she bring her there? That didn't make sense. Y'all need to have a conversation first, figure it out, and then bring the child back into the situation. So again, to me, that made sense. But he was pretty much annoyed when she showed up without his daughter. And she's saying to him, like, we got to get our co-parenting together. You owe her a good apology first. And he's more on the page of, Well, I can't apologize if she's not here. You better FaceTime her, bruh, because I wouldn't have brought my daughter there neither. But she says, Yana's saying that this is a conversation for me and you. I don't know this woman. Z, she's a stranger. I don't know her. Let's get our co-parenting together before we bring other people in it. Like, she ain't showed up with her boyfriend or nothing like that. So, what's the problem? But he is really not willing to make Z leave. Z sitting there. And I really just thought Z should have jumped in, right? Like, on her confessional and on their way there, Z was saying that, well, this really all happened because of my fault. I shouldn't have kicked him out the car, causing him not to be able. So I was looking for her to jump in and say, look, I know we ain't on best of terms. That day we were having a back and forth. I take responsibility for kicking him out the car. He wasn't able to pick up his daughter. Don't hold that against him. She didn't do none of that. She just really sat there. Like, what did you come for? And say you were going to be supportive and you were going to help make sure that things went smoothly, and you didn't own your part in why he couldn't pick her up in the first place. That probably would have steered the conversation in a better way than you just sitting there and her saying she don't want you involved in the conversation. You could have said, all right, I'm gonna head out and let y'all have a conversation because this is for the better good of your daughter. But let me say my part in it, my accountability, and y'all work it out from there. She ain't do none of that. So Troy gets up and he's kind of dismissive to Yana. He's going towards her car saying, my daughter better be in the car. You told me you was bringing my daughter. And Yana says to Z, like, this might be a point where you want to, go control your husband or talk to your husband. Why is he going to my car? You need to step in. And she's like, he a grown man. I ain't going to do nothing. And Yana's walking off towards Troy and she's saying, like, you dumb just like him. Y'all both stupid. So that's what we leave off with them. I'm hoping that they can get their co-parenting on track and that, Troy can have a relationship with Z. I do feel like so at times it feels like Z is more interested in Troy having a relationship with her son than with his own daughter. Excuse me, but that's how I feel. I feel like she's more interested in that than them mending this, and I'm just not over her in the last episode when he said that he had to go get his daughter from the train station and she's like, we got more important things to deal with than that. What? So that alone had me side-eyeing her. We'll see where this goes. Like I said to you guys, Yana went live last night with Karen. She made some accusations that Z had stabbed Troy. Z and Troy were going live and they were saying things like, Yana has another child. I don't know what that has to do with it, but she has a son after baby Troy with another man, like just telling each other's business on everybody's live. So if y'all not following them, y'all need to, because after each episode, it gets crazy online from pretty much that point on through the wee hours of the night. They go live for hours, and I just don't have time for it. But I click in and out of there to see what I can hear of any importance to bring back to you guys. But yeah, that's what I heard last night. Now, who else was on the episode that we can talk about? Let's talk about Louis and Melissa. I feel like Louis is the MVP of this season, guys. I really do. He's trying so hard. He loves Melissa so much, and she just be knocking him down. Everything he does, everything he tries, it just ain't good enough for this girl. But let's get into Louis and Melissa. So Melissa is leaving the dress shopping, and her friend, what's her name? Fran is like blaming Melissa's sister, saying like, yeah, she was saying that the ring might be fake. No, bitch, you were doing the same. It was the both of y'all. Y'all was making like the ring was fake, or that he stole it, or he did something illegal to get it. That where he get all this money from? Is he back selling? Is he a street pharmacist? All of these things. So I thought that was kind of like Fran was blaming the sister when she had stake in the game too. She was also a part of acting like something was wrong with this ring. I do feel like her friend is a hater, and she masked it as let's go get this ring insured, when it was more about getting the ring appraised and trying to figure out, was it real, was it hot, something like that. So I have to ask you guys, right? The friend that came up to Melissa's job to show her that Louis was training the girl and she thought it was inappropriate. I bet y'all, are y'all on the page with me? I bet she's single, right? This girl Fran that's hating on the ring and come up out of nowhere, I would assume she's single too. Melissa's sister, I don't know if she's single or not, but it's giving single vibes. It's giving hater vibes. And then on top of that, it's like we know that Melissa's sister had her own relationship that didn't work out because she was, dating someone that has substance abuse issues. And I feel like she's projecting that on Louis. But Louis has done nothing from the time that he came home but hustle, work, keep his head out of, keep his head down, minding his business and trying to love this woman. And she just keep kicking dirt in his face, from the engagement that she was complaining the whole time that he planned out for her. Like the ring that you asked for, he got. That was the issue. Like, I just feel like he damned if he do, he damned if he don't. Because had I got her a cheap little ring that she could barely see when she squinted, she would be talking about him. And so would the friend and the sister. Now he used all his money that he saved up, and that ain't good enough neither. I also feel like the friend Fran and stuff, they get the ring appraised, aka get it insured, but they really were there to make sure it was real, number one, and see how much it was worth. And they find out that it appraised for like $24,000. And Melissa's shocked, and she's like, oh my God, he must really love me to think I'm the woman of his dreams for him to spend. Duh, Melissa. That's what we're trying to get you to realize. Yes, we know. We're all aware that Louis loves you very much. You're the only one that's late to the party, sis. So duh, yeah, we know. Like, you're not telling us nothing that we don't know already. And then Fran talks about her friend Fran, the hater friend. She's outside and she's saying like, wow, I work 3 jobs and I don't have that type of money saved up. Let me explain something to you, Miss Fran. Okay. You work 3 jobs. Louis works jobs and he's an entrepreneur, right? So yeah, Louis works at the pizza shop, but he's also training and he has, it looks like, a good amount of clients that he's training right now. On top of that, to his clients and on his social media, he's selling vitamins and supplements. So there's a difference between just working 3 random jobs and Louis, who's also working and hustling and being an entrepreneur. Get your money up, get your bag up, and stop hating on Louis. Love Light Prosperity said that was fucked up. I hated that for him. Why is she listening to her sister? Yeah. And I bet you all of them single. The sister, the friend, the last friend that showed her the workout video, I bet you they all single. So, like sometimes you have to listen to your own intuition, listen to your own man, and not let others in on your relationship or entertain the foolishness that they're saying. Like, I'm not taking advice from no single friend. Hell, I ain't taking nobody advice. I'm gonna do what I want, period. So Love Light Prosperity also says she is definitely a hater. I work a job and I have saved definitely over 24,000. Can you buy me a ring? No. Hey Lily, thank you for checking in on YouTube. But right, like, I don't never like when somebody counting somebody else's pockets. Mind your business. And then in the way that she's doing it, it's just tasteless and whack, and she's a hater, in my opinion. So the jeweler comes back and we overlook, right? Not us, but Melissa and the friend Fran, they're overlooking that the diamond's real. It's good clarity. The jeweler says that the band itself is 14 karat white gold. Everything checks out. But they hang on to this jeweler saying that, well, all rings have to have stamped inside of it that is 14 karat gold or it's platinum or whatever the metal is. It's supposed to be stamped on the inside. All the jewelers said, well, he said that, that's pretty much illegal in our industry to not have that stamped in there. He's saying that nobody's going to jail over it, that, just take it back to the jeweler where you got it from and have them stamp it in it. It's not that big of a deal, in my opinion. But the friend Fran, she's holding on, but the word illegal, illegal is illegal. And that's what I heard you say, that this is illegal. Nothing else mattered, that the ring is real, that everything checks out. It doesn't look like it's stolen, that, it's a real good diamond, that it appraises for 24,000, which great. You're able to get it insured. None of that matters. They both hang on to that this ring is not stamped. Forget that it's real 14 karat gold or white gold. They hold on to the fact that it's not stamped. So, the friend, in my opinion, seemed happy that something was wrong, and that's not a sign of a good friend, in my opinion. But Melissa now wants to. She's acting like, I ain't gonna say she's acting like, but she's saying that she's on the page. Well, if he did get this ring illegally, if he did do something wrong, and this ring is not stamped, and he used this word illegal, I don't want Louis to go back to jail. Girl, Louis ain't going back to jail over this ring. Like, stop it. But she decides that she needs to have a conversation with Louis, even if it starts an argument or not. She's going to have a conversation with him about the ring and let him know that she went behind his back and got it appraised. We all know that's not going to end well. So let's get into it. Bougie Betty, thank you for checking in. Said maybe that's why he only paid $18K, because it's not stamped. I don't know, Bougie Betty, but I will tell you this. That jewelry store that he went to, I know that jewelry store. I live in New Jersey. It's in Woodbridge. It's called the Jewelry Exchange. And I'm going to tell you, it's one of the well-known jewelry stores in New Jersey, in my opinion. So it could have been a simple mistake that it wasn't stamped. But they don't sell nothing fake there. They don't sell nothing there that they're not supposed to sell. And you do go there, like it's a place, it's called the Jewelry Exchange. It's a place that you go to, and there's multiple jewelry stations or jewelry stores set up in one space. So you are able to get, discounted prices on the jewelry. They probably looked him out because he's on the show. And which they did, they worked with him to get him to that price. But it's one of those places where you can negotiate but you're going to get good jewelry, real jewelry. There's nothing fake about this place, I will tell you that. And I really feel like, if anything, I wouldn't have said nothing to Louis, in my opinion. Stamped or not stamped, the man told me it's real, I'm good to go. But nor would I have taken it to get appraised because of what somebody else got to say that don't have a ring on their finger. But I think that it's as simple as, like the man said, just take it back and have it stamped. Maybe they missed doing that. Maybe they were supposed to do, and they gave him the ring, the tape. I don't know. But the bottom line is the damn thing is real. The band, the diamonds, all of it's real. Love, Life, Prosperity said, but it was still in a place, and I would be offended if it happened to me. What would you be offended by? By her having the ring appraised? Let me know. What would you be offended by? Because I would agree with that. So she decides to have a conversation with Louis. She goes home to pretty much confront him and tell him that. And first of all, anytime you have a conversation that starts off with, I want to talk to you, but don't get mad at me, you already know somebody about to say something to piss you off. Lily on YouTube said, that friend is a straight up hater and Melissa needs to stop messing with her. Yeah. You can't take everybody with you when you're happy. Some people got to get left behind, and Fran needs to get left behind. And Love, Light, Prosperity on Instagram says she was definitely wrong. She always do Louis wrong. I feel like Louis should pack his bag and leave. He ain't gonna though. Love, Light, like, he loves her, and that's the sad thing about it. But she confronts Louis, And she's telling him that she got the ring appraised because of what her sister and friend was saying. And he's like, she tells him that the ring checks out, that the diamond is real. And he's like, but let's get with the but. And she's like, well, it's not stamped. They said that's illegal. I don't want you to get in trouble. And again, what Louis was saying made perfect sense. He said, like, you think that I would do something to jeopardize my freedom or put a ring on your finger that could possibly get you in trouble? I have my receipt, I have my certificate, I have everything I need to cover myself. But he's frustrated and he's upset that she thinks of him that is still in this criminal mindset that, yeah, he went to jail for armed robbery, probably, or robbery. I forget which one, but it was more so because probably his substance abuse and him trying to support his habit. But she's not just seeing that, wow, my man worked. He's been home, over a year, almost 2 years. He worked and saved up all this money to do something nice for me. She doesn't see it in that way. And I think that's what hurt his feelings the most. And I agree, rightfully so. He's upset about that. Like, I spent all my hard earned money on a 2-carat ring, and then you give her the ring. And she's talking about, oh, I didn't even know what a 2-carat ring looked like. Like, I just said that because it sounded good. So he could have saved money and got you a 1-carat or something. But he got what you asked for, and you're still not satisfied. I don't like that. But, like I said, Melissa and Louis, they did agree to do my little reunion. Come up here on the stream next week. We just got to work out a time with all the other couples, see if I can make this work because she needs to come to the carpet. We have questions. Melissa, we have questions. So we'll see. Next week is the season finale. We'll see how this pans out. But she even said it in her interview, right? Melissa said, like, maybe my friend is just jealous. Not maybe. She is, sis. So I hope that she apologizes and make it up because we always see him apologizing, making up, buying her heart pieces. It's time for you to get Louis a heart piece, sis, and make right because that was just, like damn if you do, damn if you don't. So I felt bad for Louis in that sense. But yeah, what are our other couples? So we talked about Troy and Z. We talked about Louis and Melissa. Let's talk about Joey and Kim. So Joey, we know we left off in the last, before we move on, Love Life said, why does she act like a bird brain? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she think that's like the Kim Kardashian thing to do. I don't know. But hopefully she get it together and she apologizes to him. She better have a heart pizza for him next week on the season finale, but we'll see. But Joey and Kim, we know in the last episodes, Joey had been sick, saying he had stomach pains. He went to urgent care, allegedly disappeared for the whole day. He come back with a soda and cigarettes, not signs of somebody that was having stomach issues, but he comes back and it's no longer a stomach issue. It's a splitting headache. He don't got no discharge papers from urgent care. He ain't got no follow-up care. He talking about a prescription he had to go pick up that wasn't ready. I don't know. None of it was making sense. The math was not mathing. She ended up, she had a drug test on hand. He took the drug test and he fell for that white girl, that Christina Aguilera, honey. So, he gets upset. He leaves. Love Life said Joey's on drugs. I don't know. He on something. I mean, he went back to rehab, but he left, and apparently he left to go buy another drug test. He comes back, and this test he passed. But Kim's not buying it. She feels like, what did he do to trick the drug test? With, he left before he, took this second test. She doesn't know what he did. She also says she Googled and that Christina Aguilera can leave your system after 3 days. So he's saying that if he was dirty, he wouldn't have peed in the cup to begin with, that he has not done anything. He holds on to his innocence. And, Kim's questioning him about, well, where do you go when you leave all the time? And I'm saying, Kim, you brought like 20 air tags when we saw you on Love during lockup. You should know where he is. You turned on his his GPS on his phone. You can find him wherever he is. So I don't understand why you don't know where he is. If he was at urgent care or not, you should be able to see that. What happened to all these Apple AirTags and stuff that she brought? It's again, the math is not mathing to me, but I just feel like she's gonna have to either trust him or leave it alone, one or the other, because it's exhausting to me. So I can only imagine to her, for you to be checking where somebody is all the time, questioning them, worried about what they doing, if they relapse. So either you're gonna support him through it because that could be triggering in its own, or you're gonna have to let it go because you have 2 children to look after and all of that. So either you trust him or you don't. But it's a bit exhausting to be tracking Apple AirTags and a phone all day long. Like, I don't know how you do it, girl. But I don't know. I honestly don't know if the drug test was faulty the first time, faulty the second time when he passed. But he did end up going back to rehab for 90 days because he had THC in his system. Now, I was thinking, okay, if he failed 3 drug tests from his PO, right? And he only, every time he fails, Kim is saying he failed because of THC, then maybe he wasn't doing anything else. Maybe the test was faulty. you know, if the Christina Aguilera wasn't showing up, and that's all that came up. But again, we're going by what Kim said. We weren't a part of the test done by the PO. I don't even, I don't even know if she was a part of it. This is just what Joey is telling her, but he ended up having to go do 90 days in rehab to avoid jail time. Love Light said the day he went and got them rims would have been the day he left my house. Yeah. Yeah, he's spending your money like it's going out of control. He's taking money out of the ATM and not making purchases. She don't know where that money's going to. It's just I interviewed Kim. If you guys didn't see it, it's on my YouTube channel. You can watch it. But they seem to be in love, right? It seems like he really does love her, vice versa. But I don't know, guys. I'm up in the air on this. Again, I feel like, those tests can be faulty at times. I hear. I ain't never had to take one. But so I hear they can be faulty. But I would just think if he was getting drug tested by the PO, that would have came up there too. It was making sense what Kim said that, if he was on that Christina Aguilera, he should be up, not down, sleeping, can't get him out the bed. So it's just not adding up. But if she, Kim, a grown woman, if she choose to support him through whatever it is, that's on her. She loved the man and she gonna do what she want to do. No judgment here. But he did get sent back to do the 90 days while he was locked up not locked up, in rehab for the 90 days. Kim moved into their new home. They were able to get a house, even though she's not divorced yet, even though it was already said that, look, your husband can have stake in this house if you buy it. You're not divorced for him. But she went ahead. She got the house, decorated it nice. It's a nice, cozy, comfy home that she got for her and the kids and for Joey when he comes home. Love Light said, if you drink water back to back, he would pass. Yeah, I know there's ways to trick it. It could be a faulty test. We don't know. We just don't know. All we know is what has showed up for sure after 3 tests was a THC, which it seems like there's a gray area there because I'm here in New Jersey where it's legal for we got dispensaries on every corner at this point. It's legal. But something about he purchased a Delta 9, which is like a synthetic marijuana, and it's like the highest form of CBD, yet it shows in your system as THC. So I guess that's the gray area she was talking about, because he's not supposed to have anything in his system. That's still a probation violation for him. So he ended up having to either do jail time or do the 90 days in rehab, and he chose to do that. So there's ways around the test. I'm sure there's probably things you can take to mask it, before you take the test. And like you said, drinking the water, and then, that Christina Aguilera, Kim says she Googled it, and that only takes like 3 days to get out of your system. So we don't know if when he went to the PO, it just wasn't in his system. We don't know if he really, if the 3 days was up when he took Kim's second test. It's a lot up to chance, but it seems like she's gonna stick beside him. So we'll see how that ends. But Tatum comes over, and Tatum is Kim's cousin that dated Joey back in the day, the one that was upset. She lost her virginity to Joey. Now he's married to her cousin, even though it was way back in the day. It's a small town. They're in Eden, North Carolina. I think you probably spit across the town. That's how small it is. So everybody seems to know everybody. But Tatum comes over, and it seems like, in my opinion, now Tatum did show up on one of my lives when Kim was on here saying that, she supports the relationship. She's not hating on the relationship, that she's moved past that. But I can't help but feel like it did seem like she had a smile on her face when she learned that Joey was in rehab. And almost like I told you so, like, knew he wasn't going to stay clean. And she said it, like, I knew he wasn't going to stay clean. She has no faith in him or the relationship. She's just waiting for it to blow up in Kim's face. I don't know how you keep someone around like that, cousin or not. Like, I can't have nobody around that's just preying on my downfall. I don't know. It's just something about that to me. But, Tatum definitely seemed happy that he was in rehab and kind of on her, like, told you so. He can't stay clean. He's not going to stay clean, and this relationship is not going to work, is how she's coming across. But on my live a few weeks ago, she's saying she's no hater. She supports the relationship and she don't want Joey. But while they're talking, Tatum and Kim does say that the DNA test came back. Y'all know we're waiting for these DNA results, because one of Kim's sons looked exactly like Joey. We know they was messing around while she was married. She got pregnant and went back to her husband, and Joey got locked up. So there is a great possibility that her youngest son could be Joey. He looks exactly like Joey. Even if you saw the picture of her, not ex-husband yet, we'll just say estranged husband, they had his face blurred out, but he has some really thick, curly, like blondish hair. And the oldest son has hair just like the husband we saw in the picture. But her youngest son has a low cut, dark hair, and he looks exactly like Joey. I would be very surprised if this test comes back and that's not Joey's son. But Kim has not opened the test. She just had it in the drawer. She's saying, like, kind of out of sight, out of mind, because, like I said, she's not divorced. And the lawyer already told her, if this is Joey's son, there is a possibility that her estranged husband can ask for all the child support that he's paid for this child that's now not his. She would owe that back. And she did mention she's getting like $2,500 for both kids a month. That's how she feeds them. And, what she makes as a teacher's aide is not enough to support them and, keep clothes on their back, food on the table, all of that. And, it seems like she uses that money to take care of them and her own money really to kind of take care of herself. So I wouldn't have did it on the show if that's a possibility, but she didn't know that because she didn't go to the lawyer until, she went to the lawyer on the show. So Tatum wants her to open the envelope. She didn't want to open it, but Tatum acting like she Maury honey, and she rips the envelope open. But that's a cliffhanger that we'll have to wait for the season finale next week and see if we get the results of that DNA test. So more to come on that. Right now on the show, Joey's serving his 90 days. We wish him the best. Like I said, they truly seem like they love each other, and she's choosing to stick beside him. She's a grown-ass woman and can do what she wants. But I can't wait to get those results of that DNA test. So we'll have to see next week on the season finale. Now we have, 3 more couples to talk about. Who we going to move to next? We could talk about Teenie and Rob. Let's talk about Teenie and Rob. So Rob has decided that he's going to invite his mom over. He's been calling her. And finally, oh, you want to go to Daniel? We're going to go to Daniel next. But Teenie and Rob He's decided he's gonna invite his mom over, and he didn't tell Teeny, which I think he's bugging. Like, your wife had a fight with your mom. Your wife gets a job. Kudos to her though. Teeny got a job as a paralegal. She got her a good job. She's back in the working force, helping the home. I still don't think she handled money great while he was locked up. If they had to move from that big nice house that she was in when he came home, like it seemed like she spent that money very lavishly and now has to get a job when she should have been saving that money he was bringing in from gambling, whatever he was doing on the inside. She didn't manage that well with all the years that she was home, and he was locked up. But anyway, Rob decides he's gonna invite his mom over while she's at work. And he doesn't tell Teeny that he invited her over. That's mistake number one. You don't do nothing like that. You're supposed to share everything with your wife. So that's mistake number one. And it was cool to kind of, not cool, but it was like, I guess, ironic now that the whole time in Love During Lockup, we saw Rob always watching everything Teeny did on the cameras, and now she's at work watching everything they do on the camera. So they still got these Ring cameras throughout even the new house. They done set them up everywhere. So she's watching on the camera, and she sees that Rob brings his mom over, and she's not aware. Now, I can't say me because this was probably her first couple of days at work or something. She probably couldn't leave, but I'd have been picking up the phone. I'd had to take me a little 15-minute break and call him like, what the hell are you doing? And why is this woman in my house without me knowing? But anyway, the mom comes over, and I will say, at least right off the bat, she apologized to the children. She did apologize to both children and say sorry and gives them hugs. So I said, okay, maybe this conversation is going to go well. Wishful thinking, right? Love Life Prosperity on Instagram said Teeny definitely was blowing through it, and I felt his mom, but the mama is a big mess as well. But I feel like she missed him for 16 years. But I understand Rob, the family haven't been there. Yeah, it is. I can see both sides of the story, but at the end of the day, it does seem like Rob mom is more worried about money. In this episode, yeah, she talked more about him not spending time and things like that. But the man was locked up for 6 years. He's trying to rehabilitate his life, and he doesn't want to do it in the area where he got in trouble to begin with. Respect that. It doesn't seem like he's states and miles away. They're still in the same state. He's just in another city. So why not respect and support that, right? Now, whether those are his biological children or not, he's decided to marry Teeny, and his family, his wife and his kids come first. He has to make sure that they're supported before he worry about giving money to his grown mama that looks like nothing's wrong with her and she can work. And as a child, or as your parents' child, you don't have to take care of them. You didn't ask to be here. Now, yeah, she took care of him growing up, and now she feels like she's owed something back to her. And I don't think that Rob wouldn't do for his mom once he gets in a position to do that. But they kind of again, counting pockets and seeing where Teeny was living in the car she was driving, and saying like that should be coming towards me. That's not right. That's not right. So, if you got to respect his decision he married his wife, he's taking care of his family, he went out, got a job. I even see on their social media now he works for FedEx. So, he's driving the FedEx truck. He's a delivery guy now. He's trying to make an honest living. He's not in a position where he can take care of his family, his wife, and 2 children himself, and then also give to his mom too. Why not just be happy that he made it home? And right, like you said, love, like nobody visited him while he was locked up except for Teeny. So why are you now so privileged to think that he's supposed to do everything for you? It doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, mom apologized to the children. They go inside and they sit down. Teeny sees on the camera and she is not happy. Like I said, I'd have been picking up that phone. I'd have paused that video and called him right now. What the hell is going on? But she sat back and watched, and it seemed like she could hear everything through the camera. So the mom was, again complaining that he don't hang around the family, he doesn't come to visit them. How could he visit and you wasn't even answering the phone for him to have a conversation with you? You left mad over the altercation you had with Teeny, and you ain't been answering his phone calls. He's trying to make it right now. He's telling you he loves you, he missed you in the text messages. So let's try to move forward. But she's still stuck on, she's not hearing him when he says, I'm trying to figure things out. I only been home a short amount of time, mama. Give me some time to get my life back on track and get things in order. She's not hearing that and still is saying that, he just doesn't want to be involved with his family, which in my opinion, I don't think is true. And the mom says, like, she's being a bit childish and saying, well, fine, you don't want to be cool with us, you don't want to be around us, fine. But I'm just here to vindicate my name because that fight should not have happened. Teeny put her hands on me first. That I agree with. Now, do I agree with putting your hands on somebody's mother? No, I don't. Did his mother provoke that situation? She did. I ain't gonna say she deserved it, but did she provoke it? Yes. Um, she's saying that Teeny put her hands on her first. Rob is arguing, no, she didn't, mama. She didn't do that. But the camera don't lie. And they showed the flashback. And yes, Teeny did mush his mother in the mouth first. Even though, listen. Well, let me read this comment first and I'll tell you my thoughts on it. Love Light said, but his mama is a grown woman. Why she even thinks she's entitled to his money? Do his brother take care of the mama? Because that's looking like she want to control Rob. Yeah, it's like, I wonder, does she ask for this money from every one of her children? Because it seemed like Rob has sisters who didn't show up to his welcome party. Brothers didn't show up because he said he had a hangover. Friends didn't show up as well. Nobody showed up to the welcome party. And I wonder, does she demand money from all of them? Because she seems to be cool with everybody else, just not him. But I wonder, that's a good question. Does she demand this money from all of her children? And is it just Rob because he had money while he was locked up? But here's my thing, right? Me personally, I'm not going to let anybody come in this person's space and I'm going to wait for them to hit me. I'm not doing it. So maybe the mom felt threatened when Teeny bent over at her saying, like, what is your issue with me? Okay, she stood up. She was on guard. And they start arguing and Teeny mushed her first. That's how I saw it. But maybe had Teeny not leaned down to her, it wouldn't have went down that way. But do I think that Teeny had it up to here with this woman bringing up his ex-girlfriend, telling her she don't like her, mad at her because Rob take care of her and not her? The way she was talking to her, she definitely provoked the situation. Nobody's innocent, in my opinion, in that altercation. Neither one of them. I ain't going around mushing nobody's mama. But if you get in my face, if you keep talking to me crazy, we're gonna have an issue. Like I can only take for so much, and probably Teeny was at her breaking point at that point. But Rob saying that Teeny didn't hit his mom, who's gonna tell him that she didn't mush her first? So I don't know. Again, I asked for them to be on my little reunion episode as well. Teeny says she had to talk to Rob about it and get back to me, so we will see. I'm hoping they are able to join my little reunion sesh with some of the couples and we could talk through it a little bit more and see where their relationship is today, but we'll see. Rob's mom, she's slamming on the table. She did hit me first. She's screaming. She can't even get her words out. She's crying. She's saying, do you? She's done. And she walks up ready to leave. So we'll see, does Teeny pull up? We'll see. We'll see, what happens there with their relationship from that point on in the season finale next week. Love and Light said, but let's be honest, Teeny has went through a lot with that lady. But I was definitely surprised Teeny mama just sat there. I said that too, Love and Light. Like, my mama is no longer with me, but I wouldn't even had to mush Rob's mom. if my mama was there, because my mama would have jumped on her. That would have been a mama on mama fight if my mother was still here. So I agree. I was really surprised too that her mother did nothing in that situation, but get knocked over as well and trying to pull them apart after the fact. Like, even from the way Rob's mom was talking to her, my mother would have jumped in, like, say what now? You're gonna have to watch how you talking to my child. So it wouldn't even have went in that direction. My mother would have jumped in and handled that. I was surprised with that too at that altercation that Teeny's mom didn't jump in at all. So agreed with you there. But we'll see what happens in the season finale next week. Now we got two more couples to talk about. Love Light says she want to talk about Bianca and Daniel. I'm tired. Oh, do we have two more couples? Yes, we do. We have to talk about Justine and Mike. But we'll talk about Bianca and Daniel next because Love Light, you've been hanging in with me this entire episode. I appreciate you. So let's talk about Bianca and Daniel. I'm tired of them, y'all. Now, before we get into Bianca and Daniel, I will say, you know, that allegedly they are no longer together. Bianca posted on her Instagram this past week, she found in Daniel's inbox that he had been talking to other women, sending explicit photos to women. He had slept with one of these women. So she put up some of the text exchange between him and the women. She also moved out of their apartment together, and they are no longer together. Now, some of y'all was saying in the comments when I posted what she had put up, y'all was saying she deserved it. Good for Daniel, but they are no longer together now. So she blocks me because I was going to ask her to be on my little reunion show too, but I guess she blocked me because of, you know, probably the post that I was putting up, the episode highlight clips. And I was just being honest. I wasn't being shady. I was just telling the truth. Like, y'all not a good couple and it's giving toxic. You can't even walk down the street holding hands without arguing about how he's holding your hand. Like, but she blocked me. I ended up seeing according to Amber, which half of Love and Lockup cast members, all of them, most of them don't even like Amber, but she was kind enough to share with me what Bianca had put up on her page. So I put that up for you guys to see. Yeah, he had been talking to some women, child. Love Light said, great. And he should. She is a child in the head. And JD Jenny, thank you for checking in. She said she blocked you. Ugh, truth should never be blocked. Yeah, she blocked me, girl. I was telling y'all in my last episode that when I recapped last week, like I said, you know, normally she was watching all of my stories. I could see all of her posts, and then all of a sudden she just disappeared and I didn't see her. I didn't see her anymore. And I said, well, either she took a social media break because she had said she wanted to do that because she said she was getting like threats in her inbox and stuff because people didn't like what they were seeing of her on the show, or she blocked me. And come to find out, when I realized that she had been posting this stuff that she found in, I guess, Daniel's phone or on his social media, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm blocked. She even blocked my personal page, y'all, and my backup account. So that's all right. My good bestie, I reached out to him and he started following her so he could tell me everything that's going on. But yeah, she blocked me. She hasn't posted anything since. It was a post and delete situation where she posted his text messages and stuff. And she then deleted it, but not before the internet got to it. So Lily, I don't know why she blocked me because, like all I said, like I've just been honest with how I feel about their relationship, that they both have traumas that they need to seek counseling on separately before their relationship would work. Um, I've only been honest with, they do be out in the streets and then come home and get in the bed without taking off their street clothes. Like, I don't know, but she blocked me. She did. I have no idea because I don't, you know, y'all could go look at my post and see the captions. I don't think I said anything extremely mean. I've also said on my show that I don't agree with people going in her inbox and telling her to unalive herself or being, you know, really mean to her. I've even said if any of my followers are doing that, make sure that, you know, you stop. So I don't know. I don't know, but But like JD Jenny said, the truth should never be blocked. And I was just giving my honest opinion. I'm only gonna keep it 100. That's all I know how to do. So let's read some of the comments. Live Through Me said, that's sad to hear. I love and really wanted them to win. Live Through Me, knock it off. No, you didn't. Knock it off. And Who Do You Love said, I'm so glad they broke up. That's what all of you were expressing when I posted, all of the receipts that she had of Daniel cheating. Y'all all seem to be cheering for the relationship ending. And Love Light said, I feel like she just wanted to be loved so bad, but she was acting weird and throwing up what she did for him while locked up, and that's crazy. Yeah. I feel like at this point in the season, she wants the relationship to work just so she don't have to hear "I told you so" or "you shouldn't have did that" from her friends and family back home. I'm not even sure she's still in love with the way she treat him. She wouldn't even pick the man up from work, child, so she could go get some funny time looking figurines from a comic book store. So I don't know if she loves him anymore either. It just seems like she wants it to work just so she don't have to be wrong in moving across the country for a relationship. Lily on YouTube said, that girl is immature as fuck. I hope Daniel ends up with her bestie. They look cute together. They were able to have a mature conversation. Lily started get out my head because I was like, they actually seem like they would be a more mature couple together than Bianca and Daniel. But let's get into them last night. But yeah, guys, they are not together at the current moment. We'll see if she takes them back or not. But she moved out and they are not together. And y'all up here, look, Jenny talking about some 100. Y'all are too happy for the demise of their relationship. Amanda True Love on YouTube also says she needs Jesus. Yeah. Jesus and a counselor. Thank you for checking in, Rhonda Lynn. She said yes because she said that her family has disowned her. Yeah. And look, Lily, they agree with you on Instagram. Rhonda on Instagram said that they did have a great connection. Talking about Bianca's best friend, I think what's her name, Haley, that they had looked like they had a great connection. So we're not the only ones, Lily, that saw that connection between Haley and Daniel last night. Love Light said, but the thing is, if she loved him knowing he was going through sobriety and she didn't care, and yes, her bestie and Daniel are a good fit. Yep, we got another person to agree with us. And I agree with you there too, Love Light. We've been saying that for weeks now. Like, Bianca did not go into this educating herself on how to be in a relationship with a recovering addict. She does not take that into consideration, and just seeing how these stupid arguments over coffee and hand holding could be triggering to him. Not saying you have to give him a pass on everything. I've already said he has some accountability here. He should not have proposed to her while he was locked up. It was jail talk, bottom line. But he should not have proposed to her. He should have known what he knows now, that he needs to come home and establish himself before he marries anyone. He has a 14-year-old child that he's never paid any child support for. He needs to figure that out first before he marries and try to get this girl pregnant. He has an ex-wife that he needs to figure things out with, and again, get his relationship right with his child before he can do any of that. And also just establish himself. Make sure that he's good living in the real world and not just being sober behind bars, because being sober behind bars is a totally different things when you're out here in the free world. So those are all things that he should want to get together before he should have, proposed to her while he was locked up and made her think that she was going to get a proposal as soon as he came home. And she should not want a proposal from someone that just came home instead of waiting for him to establish himself and get himself together, and you being supportive through that, not throwing in his face what you did. So again, I don't feel like I've never said anything to warrant me to get blocked, except for my thoughts and opinions. I've always been respectful about it, as I am with all the couples, but I'm blocked. So yeah. Lily said, laugh out loud, next season, Bianca will be the inmate. Meanwhile, Daniel and Haley are living their best life. We'll see. We will see. And Rhonda said, Bianca is a child and is very immature. She signed up for something that she wasn't ready for. Agreed. He actually admitted that he love bombed her. Those cells will make you say anything. That's what they call it, jail talk. And she just ain't never been involved with nothing like that to know that. But if you know, you know. And if you don't, clearly you don't. But let's just get into it. So we start off with Bianca, still at the bar with Haley. She came in town. Bianca is telling her, she's still telling her and Daniel's business, saying that there's no foreplay, that they're not using protection, and she wants to be pregnant, but there's still no ring. But she's like, even though there's no ring, she thinks that bringing a baby into the situation, like, it's gonna help it or make him propose faster. She's not thinking about ending up being a single mom. She's not thinking about any of those things. And Haley, to me, just came in as a breath of fresh air and kind of like, girl, splash some reality on your face. It's not that simple. And those aren't things that you want to figure out after you're already pregnant. So, like you guys have already said, she's just living, like Haley said as well, just living with her head in the clouds. She's not thinking real life scenarios. She has unresolved traumas, guys. We talked about this already. She lost a baby when she lived in Florida. She had this horrific accident with her friend that was driving drunk, which I said to you guys, if you didn't realize your friend was that drunk that she shouldn't be driving, that y'all left a bar and ended up at a cement wall at an airport when nobody was taking a flight, that lets me know, in my opinion, that you were also drunk as hell, that you didn't realize that your friend shouldn't have been driving. But, she's running from her own traumas and moving to I was about to say to Amazon, moving to Arizona to be with a guy you've never met in the free world, that you looked up online just because you were curious to talk to somebody who had been convicted of a DUI. What sense does that make? None. So at the end of the day, she has her own traumas that she needs to work through, as well as Daniel with his sobriety. How do you work? How do you work as a couple if you don't work individually? And yes, JD Jenny, that's right. Tell the people on YouTube, hit that like button. Appreciate that. Make sure y'all subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you missed any part of this live, it will be up on my YouTube channel. My link is in bio on Facebook and Instagram. So yes, appreciate that, Jenny. Thank you so much. And I did put up a pre-recorded episode this morning too, my thoughts on the latest episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami. So I'm going to do one on Beverly Hills after this. But yeah, she's just living with her head in the clouds. And again, I was distracted because, she brings Haley back to the house and they both jump in bed without taking a shower. And she came there from the airport. I told y'all, Bianca and Danny always getting in bed, sweating in that Arizona sun, not taking a shower, sitting on the bed, getting in the bed with their street clothes on. It's very distracting to me. But, Haley came in and she had a conversation with Daniel. She's saying, she's concerned. She learns that he relapsed while in jail, and she talks about, her own experience being in a relationship like that. She doesn't want to see Bianca get hurt. And he makes it clear, like, Haley, that's not an option. Going back is not an option. So they leave it alone and get in the bed without taking showers. The next morning, it looked like they took a shower the next morning, and Haley's there for a short time because it seems like she's, going right back to the airport. She spent the night, they hung out, and she's going right back. But Bianca goes to get bagels, get some breakfast, and Haley stays there with Daniel, which I would never leave my friend with my man. That's just not how I roll. Say what you want. I'm old school. I hear that a lot, but I wouldn't have left. She would have came and got them bagels with me. But anyway, because look, now y'all saying they look good together. But Haley talks to Daniel, and he pretty much admits to love bombing her. Like, he didn't see it as that while he was locked up, but he shouldn't propose. He shouldn't have proposed for her. He's admitting that he shouldn't have proposed, that he was, kind of saying all these things and making her think that they were going to get married. And not that he doesn't still feel that way. He still feels like she's the one, that he wants to make the relationship work, which is a positive thing. And he's just being smart about it and saying, like, after spending some time with her and we got out, we're not ready to get married. I respected what the man had to say. Again, he shouldn't have proposed to her when he was locked up and get her hopes up. But I respected the man, realized that he was wrong and that he talks to Haley about it. Haley expresses, like, well, she's asking, well, what's your timeline? He's saying, hey, I don't know. He can't tell when Bianca gonna stop acting foolish and stop being crazy. So how can he have a timeline? But I thought it was a good conversation. And again, I can see how y'all thought, because I was thinking it too, that the conversation that that Daniel and Haley is having is the conversation that we would like to see Bianca be able to sit down and have with Daniel, but she can't do it without walking out, without getting upset, without swinging that thin ass hair that I want her to cut into a bob and let her ends grow back the correct way. But yeah, so I can see how we would be saying that we think that Haley and Dane would be a better couple. Live Through Me says, so what's wrong with love nimble? I'm gonna assume you meant love bombing. I mean, it's nothing wrong with that, I guess. But when you locked up and you have this young woman that you are doing this in the hopes that she doesn't leave you while you're locked up and that she's there for you, ain't nothing wrong with it if you like it. But then you got to follow up through it, with it. Live Through Me. So if you locked up Live Through Me, and you tell this girl, oh, I love you so much, I want to be with you for the rest of my life, I'm going to marry you the day I get out, then you got to stand on that. But he hasn't. And that's where I guess the issue of love bombing comes into play, and it maybe would not be considered love bombing if it was consistent all the way through. If that's just the way you is, then cool. If you just doing that to get someone into you and then you flip, that, I guess that's where the problem could be in. Barry's daughter, thank you for checking in. Louis needs to leave Melissa. Barry's daughter said, yes, we talked about Louis and Melissa. Totally agree with you. For y'all that just came in, I did say I'm trying to get like a little reunion together, since we don't get a reunion for Love After Lockup or any of the franchises. I have reached out to some of the couples trying to get them together. Louis and Melissa are one of the couples that agreed to come on. We're just trying to work out times because they work on Saturdays when I normally do this tea talk. So I'm trying to figure it out for them so that after the season finale, hopefully we can talk to a few of the couples. So I agree with you. But is he going to leave Melissa? Absolutely, probably not. Rhonda Lynn says his friend Gator warned him and told him to run. Sure did. And he should have listened to Gator. He should have listened. But now they're not together, y'all. If you're just tuning in, you can see it on my page. But Bianca caught Daniel cheating with other women, and he even slept with one of them. So she moved out, and they're not together now. We'll see if he takes her back. And Barry's daughter also said Daniel was showing that he is the adult in the relationship. Yeah. Maybe he had been immature for him to love bomb her while he was locked up and tell her that he was going to marry her the day he got out. But now he's gotten out and got his head together. He see what it really is. And he just, not that he doesn't want to marry her, he just don't think they need to rush into it. Jenny said, we shall see. We shall. Season finale next week. So we'll see how that goes. Now Bianca gets upset again when she's taking Haley to the airport, because Haley tells her about her conversation with Daniel, that he realizes that he love bombed her, that he doesn't have a time frame of when he's gonna marry her. She doesn't hear nothing else Haley says. She just heard that clearly, because you saw her face change when she heard he doesn't know when he's going to marry her. So that's probably going to be another argument after she dropped Haley off and she gets back to the house. So we'll see what happens on the season finale with them. Barry's daughter said maybe that other woman likes his non-foreplay. Or maybe he took heed to what Bianca said and put the foreplay down on somebody else, honey. I don't know. But once they get on these shows, the inboxes start popping. So, and it was more than one Barry's daughter. He for sure had slept with one of them based on the messages, but it was more than one woman, honey, that he had been talking to, and he had been sending some explicit pictures as well. So they like what they saw and they jumped on it. So for play or not, they got with it. So we'll see what happened next week when she get back from from the airport. Lily said, "Did anybody watch?" She's asking, "Did anybody watch the after show?" I didn't, Lily, because I had to watch Bell Collective. I didn't watch and it seemed like they were also talking about the new season of Love during lockup as well. So I paused it, and I'll probably go back. Did anything happen, Lily, on the after show that we should let know of? Let me know. Type it here. I'll let the people know. But I did not watch the after show, the Secrets Unlocked episode. Oh, you said you didn't either. I'm gonna go back and watch it. I didn't think it was gonna be anything that juicy there, but I did pause it there because I wanted to watch Bell Collective. So I'll go back and take a look at it. Now, our last couple that we'll talk about is Justine and Mike. I have a question for you when it comes to Justine and Mike. Whose insurance is paying for all these doctor visits and stuff? Is it Mike's? Because she don't work nowhere. So I'm just wondering, because they about to have a whole lot of medical bills, keep having these babies. She talking about she had to have 10 visits in the 1 month alone with seeing the high risk doctor and her gynecologist. Who is paying for that? His moving truck company got insurance to cover that? I don't know. But it seemed like they racking up a whole lot of bills and he ain't rapping. So Live Through Me said cash. Cash? They spent most of their money or his money that he had saved up in that house. That's why he had to go back to work. But if you say cash, okay. But that was my first question on my notes was whose insurance or money is paying for this? And you better not say and look, Barry's daughter took it right out my mouth. I was just about to say, you better not say the state paying for it or Medicaid, but that's crazy. But anyway, she goes to visit the doctor. She's almost at 38 weeks, and they tell her, that the high risk doctor reached out to her, to her gynecologist because the baby was behind in growth, and that they were worried that the placenta was no longer working, that the baby wasn't getting the nutrients that it needed, and that they would have to move the C-section up and do it as soon as possible. And she's nearing 38 weeks, which is pretty good. I had to I didn't have to have a C-section, but they induced my second daughter at 37 weeks. After I was high risk with her, I had gestational diabetes. I had already had my first daughter. She was at 24 weeks or so. So I was already high risk. I was seeing all of those doctors and everything too. But I had insurance to cover that. But I don't know what they're doing. But she went and found out that news. So we also found out that, they're going to move the C-section up. She's going to have it sooner than later. But that also after the C-section is done, that they were going to go in and remove her tubes so that she can no longer get pregnant. So I guess they have decided, and yes, Live Through Me, Lily on Instagram said, ain't no way they paying out of pocket. Agreed. But she decided that she's going to also have her tubes tied, which I found interesting because the last conversation they were talking about Mike having the vasectomy. Now I told y'all I felt like she wanted Mike to have that vasectomy to make sure he didn't have no more children with nobody else, that her kids was the last kids. But I guess, they didn't get into it, but it seems like she's decided to remove her tubes and there was no more talk about the vasectomy. Now, I think that they are truly in love. I would hope that Mike wouldn't cheat and have no more babies outside of the home. So, she went that route, and the doctor said pretty much anyway that she cannot have any more children. They don't recommend it. The C-section scar, they don't recommend more than I think 2 or 3 C-sections, and she's like on her 3rd or 4th C-section. And the children are so close together that she'll be delivering and they'll both be They won't even be 12 months apart. So it's very risky pregnancy. They were even talking about how the C-section scar is still, soft tissue. It's not fully healed. And they were saying how there's concern that the placenta could be growing into the scar tissue, and that could pose a more potential risk of death and hemorrhaging when they go to give her this C-section. So a lot at risk here. We do know now on the other side that on social media, the baby's born, he's here, he's healthy, she's healthy, but we'll see how that goes. Barry's daughter said her mother is sick of her rabbit behind. They both need to get neutered. Yeah, it seems like she's chosen the route too, but hasn't said anything about him. So hopefully he don't have no more children. I don't think he would do that, but you never know. Um, they did decide to call her mom and tell her mom that she was, they needed her. She needed her to come out here. It was emergency and wanted her to fly out that night. But didn't tell her why. So the mother is annoyed. She's saying like it better be a good emergency that I gotta leave out the night of, I will call you back. And she seemed annoyed. And while Justine tried to paint this picture of her mom being this big bad monster that never supported her, was being mean to her, she could never do enough. I just think at this point, you've been having children since you were like, what, 17 years old? And her mom has always had to step in and help her raise them because the fathers weren't there. So let's just give her mom some grace. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon of, oh, she's not supportive. She's a mean mom. She's not good to her daughter. Like, she's been helping you along all this time. At some point, you have to take some accountability. Hi, Alpha Love. Thank you for checking in. You have to take some accountability and say, like, look, Ma, I know I've been, I've been having babies damn near my whole life. And I'm done. I met someone. I met my husband. We're doing well, and we wanted to have these children together. So maybe had you not hit it and told her at the last minute that, hey, you're coming for your granddaughter's 1-year-old birthday party, but also I'm having a C-section the next day. Like, you can't spring things on somebody like that. And then you call her back to say, well, it's an emergency. I need you to come now. You don't tell her why and expect her to be like, I'll be right there. It doesn't work like that in the real world all the time. So I'm not gonna just say that, oh, she's some bad mom. I don't think that. You got to take some accountability. Barry's daughter said, after my birth, my birth by C-section, my doctor told me to wait at least 18 months before getting pregnant again to allow the inside to heal. Yeah, I would agree with that. And they tell you that with natural birth, right? That you should wait at least a year for the womb to heal. So they tell you that if you have a C-section or if you have the baby, do vaginally, that you have to wait at least a year for your body to heal. Now, listen, my babies are 17 months apart. Shocked the hell out of me. I found out I was pregnant while my first baby was 10 months old. So just like, I get it, but I was also in a different boat because my first baby, she was born a pound 15 ounces. So she didn't do a whole lot of tearing up to my womb. I literally like went back to normal within days. I mean, I still had to wait my 6 weeks and everything. And still, I think I should have allowed my body to heal. Again, that's why I was high risk and had to deliver. They induced me at 37 weeks. So praying all goes well with the delivery. Look, like I said on Instagram, we can see the baby's here. He's healthy. She's healthy. We'll see how this goes with her mom, but I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon of she's a bad, that Justine's mom is a bad mother and unsupportive. Like, you got to take some accountability here. You in your 30s plus, and you've been having babies since 17, and she's been there supporting, helping you raise them, babysitting, probably giving financially, all of that. So I'm not going to do that. Lily on YouTube said, I didn't like how she reacted to her mom's response. She acted like her mom owes her something. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But season finale next week. That is all the couples that we saw last night. Thank you for hanging out with me. Before I get out of here, look out, set your alerts, guys. I've been, the schedule is all over the place. So I do try to let you guys know beforehand what time my shows will be live. If you're able to join live and watch in its entirety, great. I appreciate you. If not, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. All my recaps are there. I did a pre-recorded recap this morning of the last episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami. So you guys go check that out, please. Make sure you like my videos on YouTube, please. Like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can see my recaps at your leisure if you miss any part of my lives. I appreciate it. So more lives to come. I'm going to do a pre-recorded live and put it up later this evening of last week's episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I owe you Salt Lake City as well. I haven't watched it yet. I was cooking on that on Wednesday night. I started it but didn't finish it. So I'm going to give you a recap of that sometime soon. That'll be pre-recorded, but I'll be back tomorrow with a live recap of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'll give you a sneak peek of the episode on my pages, as well as, we always do Love and Marriage Huntsville and Bell Collective together. So that recap will be tomorrow. And Monday, I will recap live Married to Medicine and Real Housewives of Potomac. So y'all check out those lives, set your alerts, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, before I get out of here, always, if you have a business or a product that you want me to promote on my social media platforms, again, we continue to grow. We reached 13K followers on Instagram this week. Thank you. We reached 26,000 followers on Facebook. I say we like I'm not a one-man show, but you get what I'm saying. 26,000 followers on Facebook. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the support. In my YouTube channel, the subscribers are growing. I'm still, I'm just a little baby YouTuber, but we're over 300 subscribers on YouTube and continue to grow. So I appreciate you all. Again, thank you. Welcome new followers to my day ones. I appreciate you for just supporting, showing up, commenting, interacting with me when I go live. I appreciate all of you so, so much. So again, if you're looking for a promotion of a product or business, if you want to be a sponsor, I'm looking for sponsors for the podcast where I would promote your business or product on all my episodes. If you're interested in either, you can message me, DM me, or email me what you see above reality_recap@yahoo.com. My Cash App is $reality, same way you see it spelled up here, but there's no underscore there. So for Cash App, it's just $reality recap. And again, I appreciate all your support, and you can support free. Again, like, share, subscribe, follow me on social media. I appreciate you. Thank you, Love Life, for tuning in and continuing. I appreciate that. All things you need reality, you get from me. You get episode highlights, breaking news, everything to be in the know in the reality TV realm. Your girl V got you covered. So make sure you're following on Instagram and Facebook as well. Now, as I say before I end all my shows, reality TV stars are humans too. Don't forget that. I'll see you tomorrow for a recap of Love and Marriage Huntsville and Bell Collective. I hope everyone had a great holiday. I missed you guys, and I'm glad to be back to recapping my shows, y'all. Y'all have a great weekend. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.